Hello and welcome to our intention tutorial. So this tutorial is a little bit different of a practice. We're not going to do any asana poses or pranayama breathing practices. It's more of a focus or a theme for your class. So for me personally, I love to have an intention that will help me during my practice, but also even when I teach, I try to give a little time to set an intention, or I give you one in case you don't have one that just pops up in your mind. A lot of times we're really confused about why do you set an intention or where does it come from, especially at the beginning of your yoga journey. You kind of think, what do I need an intention for? What is this? How do you find it? How do you think of it? So there are several different ways that you can do that. One way for me, one of my favorites is, I really like this Oracle deck. I have several Oracle cards, so the Goddess one is one of my favorites. And even if you're not a female or identify that way, then you can still use this because all these apply. So let's say that I were to draw a card. There's several different ways that you can draw a card, and it even tells you in the deck. You can shuffle them, you can pass them around to different people so they can all have their energy on the cards. You can take 3 cards, and that would be your past, your future, and your present. Or you can just pick. You can sometimes even go through and say, what looks good, and pick a card. If one actually falls out of the pack or one is face up, then that's your card. And somehow it always has to do with what's going on in your life. So today I drew Lakshmi, which is a beautiful goddess, and it is bright future. So say I were to draw this card before a yoga practice. Her mantra at the bottom is stop worrying, everything is going to be fine. So the way that I would use that during a practice would be, at the beginning of the practice, I'm setting my intention and I'm thinking of Lakshmi. Maybe I'm picturing her face, her body, what she embodies about a bright future, how I need to stop worrying, that everything is okay right now in this very moment. And then as I were to move through practice, if I start to get worried or my mind starts to go elsewhere, I start to think, what is the person next to me doing, or am I doing this right? Stop worrying, everything is okay. And it's easier said than done. So no matter what your intention is, you can apply it somewhere through in your practice, somewhere in your life. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a random drawing like this. You can pick something else, like a prayer, an affirmation, a mantra, maybe even just a word. Sometimes I like to pick just a word, like peace. I will find peace in each pose. So if you're moving into a weird, funky, twisted lizard, which can be kind of uncomfortable, how do you find peace? Maybe just by repeating the word over and over. Peace, peace. You might not feel it, but it's there somewhere. It's hidden in that pose. So intentions are a really beautiful way to expand our practice, to move a little bit beyond the physical, more into the mental, emotional, and even spiritual realms, to really help us develop a strong practice and to take that off the mat. So even whatever your mantra, your intention is for your practice, you can most likely always use that elsewhere in your life, which is what our whole time on the yoga mat really is. It's really coming to the mat, to return back to ourselves, to move deeper into our bodies, to move through all these weird poses that challenge us, that help us grow, maybe that help us soften. And how can we apply what we learn on the mat to real life? And that's exactly what an intention does. And it's a wonderful way to help you ground into your body, ground into your practice, and to take everything to a deeper level. So there you have it. You can use an Oracle card. I recommend the Goddess deck. I also have one of my favorites is Healing with the Fairies, for obvious reasons, but these are also really beautiful. And they give you a lot of background about the goddess. They tell you an affirmation, what she embodies, and then it gives you a little kind of story and how you can relate it to your life. So that's cool. You can pick a verse out of the Bible, or the Quran, or whatever book of spiritual growth that you use. That's really good. It can be a poem that you read. It can be something that you need to work on, or something that's really been bothering you in your life. or it can be something that just pops up. And a lot of times when something doesn't pop up in your practice, you can always choose your intention of the breath. So I hope that you have a little bit more hope finding an intention, and I really hope that that helps your practice progress in a more beautiful and inspiring way. Thank you. Namaste.